Come on, Potato! Where's his beard? Where's his armor? Come on, Potato, load! You fucking potato! Oh, son of a bitch! What's up, plebheads? I'm Neil.
And I'm J-Dog.
And welcome to the Kingdom Come Deliverance after a full playthrough. No BS review. And before we start the review, we just like to start off by reading 10 things that we would rather do instead of playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. J-Dog, why don't you take it away?
Number 10. Have a tooth pulled.
Number 9. Rip out an infected, ingrown toenail.
Number 8. Have the flu.
Number 7. Listen to One Direction.
Number 6. Sit in a room full of SJW warriors.
Number 5. Take a batch of barbed wire to the scrotum.
Number 4. Rub a little sandpaper across the taint.
Number 3. Rub shit on an open sore.
Number 2. Flay the skin from my fingers.
And number 1, we would rather play No Man's Sky. Now let's jump into the Kingdom Come Deliverance No BS review. Now look, before we get into this whole everything I have to say, which may or may not be nice, first things first, I want to thank Braydon Koinos for supplying us with the Steam key for this game. Braydon requested that we play through this game in order to form a better, more educated opinion on the game. Wanted us to have more time with the game as opposed to the 2 hours that we are allotted on Steam. And everything else aside, Braydon, I am very grateful as this game did show me some really good things and it showed me some really bad things. But this game, there were some good experiences. Some of the dialogue was very intelligently written. Notice I said some of the dialogue. There were some interactions between characters that made me say, damn, you know, this feels real. This really invoked an emotion in me. I liked that. There were some scenes that had me piss my pants laughing. I know my friend Isaiah was a part of one of those with me when you met with the priest from Ushitz and you went and had a drunken bender on the town and then you had yourself a little tussle with some of the local ladies. Yep. I mean, that was a great episode. It was hilarious. The dialogue was so well done. I absolutely loved that part of this game. Some of the weapons were really cool. Just some of the scenery was absolutely breathtaking. There were some moments where I said, damn, I just want to enjoy that and take that in. And of course, some of the other story missions were interesting. I really enjoyed the alchemy elements in this game. Really had my attention with that. That was very well done. Of course, it can get laborsome after a while, but I have to say straight up, the alchemy in this game, I thought it was one of the best alchemy systems I've ever seen. Now, that being said, J-Dog, what did you think about Kingdom Come Deliverance?
I think that you are a true gaming superstar for having made it through to the end.
Well, thank you.
That's what I think. I don't think I would have been able to, even if somebody had supplied me with a copy of the game. And that's an honest statement.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
What did I like? I'll echo you and say the scenery I thought was really good.
Yeah.
There is a well-done world, for the most part, in this game. I liked some of the side quests, and I actually enjoyed a lot of the side quests more than the main quests. I loved how you could romance the different ladies throughout the town, and have a full-on row.
Yeah,
you know?
have a little romp session.
Yeah, romp session with them. That I don't remember getting to do that in too many games, so that was nice. Since, hey, if I'm a famous knight back in the 1400s, 1500s, that's what I'd be
I'm going to dip my whack.
That's right. I thought the main quest line in this game was terribly laborsome. Just awful as far as its pacing goes. And so I don't think I would have been able to see it out to the end. And that's the honest truth. I did enjoy the combat. I know initially that was the one thing that really turned us off to this game when we were, looking at some of the trailers and some of the initial gameplay. But I did end up enjoying that, so I am to stand corrected on the combat in this game. It was probably the most enjoyable part of it for me. It seemed very visceral. It seemed very in your face. It seemed very up close. And combat in the 14 and 1500s would have been.
Probably would have been.
A very life and death. Every inch of every sword would have really mattered. Because 1 inch one way or the other could mean the difference between life and death, and that's the truth. And as you see those swords come in, you really feel the brunt of the attacks. And when you block them, and then you riposte, or you hit them with a strike of your own, there's a weight to the characters, and they move and respond to those attacks in great ways. So I did really like that. What I didn't like about the combat was the way you can basically break the system by using the bow.
Just like I did.
You basically overpower your bow. The enemies walk towards you with their swords drawn, and you shoot them in the face. So I wish that was different, because it basically negated any awesome sword fights in this game as we move further on in it. But, those are discussions for another time, I suppose.
Oh no, they're discussions for now. They're discussions for right now.
So those are the things I unfortunately found disappointing. The game really struggled to get out of its own way, and I think that's something you and I mentioned multiple times when we discussed this.
Yep.
Whether it was just the awful pacing, the laborious way that literally things that should take no time at all seem to just take up unbelievable amounts of time in this game. The loading screens are constant. Every time you talk to somebody, you have to sit through a loading screen. And I just can't get my head around that. Whether it's stupid animations, every time you pick up a plant, you have to actually watch an animation. The game just feels like one stop motion piece after another. And so it never, ever gets into a nice, steady rhythm that makes you want to keep playing. So those are really the things that disappoint me the most. The game, in and of itself, in the setting and the story,
It's fine.
is fine.
Yeah.
It just isn't fun to experience it. So, I don't know. I wish, my hope is Warhorse will take and accept some of these criticisms, and if they do release, whether it's DLC or updates for this game, or they'll release, maybe they'll make another game, because obviously I think this has sold relatively well. They would at least try to fix those things and improve on those aspects of the game, because there is the backbone of a really good experience here.
Yes, there is.
It just isn't realized. And unfortunately, I game to have fun.
Yep. You're actually seeing one of the laborious points here. You need to wait and sleep or quest your way through 2 days during the raid or during the siege.
And you actually have to wait.
Yeah, you actually have to get through it, and then you have to eat to recover your energy that you lost by waiting and sleeping.
So it almost felt like the guys sat around and said, "Okay, what can we make? What little things in games can we make take forever?" And then they honestly went and did it and made every little thing take forever. And so your 30 hours of playtime or 50 hours of playtime, 15 hours of that is waiting and listening to dialogue and basically sitting there with your eyes closed like Neo's doing right now in this playthrough.
I had my head in my hands just like,
It's just like, why? why make it feel so sluggish? And that's really where the game really, really falls apart for me. So, that does disappoint. There's no doubt about it.
Well, let me know when I can take the safeties off and just go to work.
Go ahead, Neo. You played more than I did. I was here for maybe half the episodes, I would say, before I really couldn't do it anymore.
So I played...
I think I'll just add one more thing.
Okay.
I was waiting today while you were finishing the game for that epic last fight, right?
And even the last fight didn't feel epic.
Well, and that I think is probably one of the biggest disappointments with the game is you don't get that final satisfaction.
No, they want you to buy it in DLC.
You know, this guy shows up and kills your family at the start of the game. And you don't fight him? You don't go after him? You don't kick his ass and get revenge? I don't understand that. Am I right?
Well, they did explain why at the end, and honestly, as far as that part goes, I was more or less okay with that. But the actual final confrontation, where you're there in the castle, just the whole fight getting up to the cutscene where everybody, where you do the exchange, where you exchange Eric for Lady Stephanie, and then you ride with Hans Capon to find Sir Radzig in the field, safe and sound. That whole sequence, that whole fight before that sequence, felt just dumb. Climb up some ladders, fight down a hallway, work your way down the stairs, fight a couple guys, and it's done. It felt so bad. That's your big final confrontation. That's what I put 50 hours into. It's like playing a game that just ends.
So tell me why you didn't get to have a fight with Lon Always.
Well, because the word of the Lord, the word of honor, the Lord's honor has to be worth something. The noble's honor has to be worth something. Otherwise, like you'll see, we did the exchange for Lady Stephanie. That would never have happened. He never would have trusted Hanish's word. He never would have trusted Robard's word. So I understand what they did there. They couldn't break honor. It was all about honor. And saying, I give you my word that you will leave free and safe. But you need to release Lady Stephanie, and you need to release Sir Radzig and Skalitz unharmed. And then he left the province. He left the area. So that I understood.
So you had him captured?
They were in the Tomburg Castle. They took Tomburg Castle. Oh. You'll see the siege. This is the siege right here.
Okay.
And so you're going in there trying to take out Toth. You're trying to take these guys out.
So you have to have you got to let him go so you can get your people back.
Yep. So you can get Lady Stephanie back. And remember, Sir Radzig is your father.
Okay. You didn't want to lose another father.
Yeah.
Figure.
Yeah. You didn't want to lose your actual father.
Okay.
So then after the sequence, you see your father, and that was actually a really good. You know what? I'm going to stop. I'll break that down later towards the end. But first,
for me, it's a huge disappointment to not have a big battle.
I agree.
A big,
I agree with you.
Epic fight that you've been building toward. I mean, the whole point was to get this guy. This is like that coming of age story where you get this lowly blacksmith son, and you're going to build him up into this epic warrior, and you're going to have a fight with this guy. And they do such a good job of introducing the villain at the start of the game.
They do a very good job.
And then
you never see him again. You never see him again after the opening of the game.
What the? We got to have ourselves a.
34 episodes I haven't seen him. 34 episodes I have not seen him.
So that was
I'm thinking that's
disappointing.
DLC or that'll be Kingdom Come 2. But Kingdom Come 2 is going to be made by EA, and it's going to be $5 per loading screen.
Oh.
So it'll be a really quality game. Anyway, I want to take it more seriously for a moment, and I want to go into things I didn't like about this game. And I'm going to go through all 36 of my episodes, and I'm going to talk about everything that I can remember. First of all, I'm going to echo J-Dog. The loading screens in this game are absolutely atrocious. I don't give a shit if you have an SSD, a 72, or a 54. The loading screens in this game are absolutely abysmal. They ruin the immersion. They ruin the feeling of realism and putting yourself into this game. They absolutely desecrate the immersion factor for this game. Loading screens ruined it. Some care and some work could have been done to make that better. I don't know how the hell they could have done it. That's not my job. I'm not a coder. I'm not a programmer. But that is something that if they do another game, cannot happen.
Well, I just don't see it in other games.
The loading screens were absolutely atrocious.
Not every time you talk to an NPC.
They were just atrocious. That definitely has to change. Loading screens, huge negative. And I would say they're probably half of my reason for disliking this game as much as I do. The AI is straight up, downright fucking stupid. Some of the worst AI I've ever seen. Look at those guys literally standing there. They're standing there.
Well,
They should be pointing bows and shooting at me.
You're peppering.
But he's just standing there. It's ridiculous, though. It's stuff like that that makes me say, here's your most realistic game you've ever played. Dum 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 dum. Anyway, the AI in this game is terrible. How many times did I see Capon, or not so much Radzig, but Hanish, or one of those other guys, ride their horse right up into a stone wall and not get over the stone wall? You'll actually see it in my final episode. Capon gets stuck in the stone wall, and then I ride forward, and he loads in at the next destination, and I have to ride up to meet him. So the AI in this game is abysmal. The paths that they travel and walk and everything is just god-awful horrendous. All right, let's talk about this unbelievable, incredible, greatest combat system you've ever seen in your life. First of all, it's broken. Second of all, it's trash. And third of all, it's not fun at all. It's ridiculous.
Once you figure out you can just bullet people in the face.
Yeah, basically, once you figure out how to break the combat in this game is no longer a challenge. It just becomes, can you shoot him in the face on your first shot? Which I did to Runt. I killed the boss Runt in one shot. That was abysmal and embarrassing. And I actually felt bad for the game at that point. And I shot him and killed him, and that was just terrible. But yeah, like I said, the combat in this game it sucks. It's not fun. It's not immersive. It's not new and exciting. It's just adding a couple different tweaks to an already prevalent combat system to try and make it seem like you're special. Which the combat system in this game definitely comes off as being special.
Yeah.
It's bad. I don't care. It's bad. I'm not going to apologize for it. It's not good. When Dan Van and I were playing this together, he started reading off a list of all the claims on the Kickstarter. And I would say 3/4 of them never came to pass. Just garbage. Garbage.
Like the fact that you can miss the guy that close to him is just...
Well, that's just bad aiming. That's just bad aiming.
I mean,
I had a lot of moments like that. I was actually in this episode, I'm very exhausted at this point. I'm just bored with it. I'm like, let's get this over and done with. But anyway,
I like how the guy walks towards you with his sword drawn. Like, wouldn't he be just hacking the hell out of you?
Yeah, like he's on a timer. Like he's got to wait 3-4 seconds before he swings again. The combat in this game, the combat in this game feels like a staged dance. I think that's a fair way to describe it. All right,
it's like, okay, I just want to say this. I want to be honest. On what planet, on what century, on what fight in real life does a guy take a bow? Okay, I'm not talking Lord of the Rings fake BS. I'm talking real life. Okay, take a bow, walk into a group of trained knights, and shoot them all down while they have shields and swords and armor. Has never happened. Would never happen. Okay? I mean, come on, man.
There were a lot of things in this game that just irritated me. Let's talk about characters and scene pieces failing to load in. Let's talk about textures failing to load in. Really, really ruined this game for me. It really made it hard for me to get excited about it. A lot of things in this game just got in its own way, like you said before. And, there'll be scenes where I'll walk into town and half the characters haven't loaded. There'll be cut scenes where we're talking to Sir Divish or Captain Bernard, or we're talking to Hanish, and the person we're talking to hasn't even loaded in. There's supposed to be a scene of him sitting there talking to us, he's not there. It's embarrassing for the game. And I don't know if it's just laziness on part of the developers, or if they rushed the game out and they still haven't gotten that fixed yet. I don't care how small their studio is. If you can produce a game of this size, of this stature, you can have your characters load in and your textures load in.
Well, and the thing is, okay, this is your first game, right? And all this good stuff.
I don't give a shit.
I'm saying you're better off to have a smaller, tighter experience. You know what I mean? Why make an experience where we had multiple times we had to actually reload because characters got stuck, or they got they didn't do what they were supposed to do, so the game was broken, and so you had to reload it. Yeah. And it's like, I'd rather the experience be smaller and tighter and more compact and have it work.
The only reason this game, I think I have between 50 and 60 hours in this game. The only reason this game got that much of a playtime out of me instead of 20 to 30 hours, or even maybe 15 to 25 hours, was because of the horrendous load times, which you're seeing here again. The horrendous load times, the times I had to redo quests because things didn't come in right, things didn't show up right, characters got stuck, even quest triggers didn't load. Mm-hmm. Like you saw earlier today with the sex with the high women scene. I couldn't even click on the person. It didn't. The quest trigger didn't happen when I walked over to the girl, or the horse in this case. Mm-hmm. So that was a disappointment for me. It was a real letdown to see stuff like that happen. So we talked about the crap combat, the textures, the characters not loading in. How about the fucking book you need to read every time you talk to one person? Unbelievable. Boring. Look, I get that maybe the guys at Warhorse and the people involved with the team have a real... Look at this. His chest plate hasn't even loaded in this scene. Look at that. His armor hasn't even loaded in yet. And it's a cutscene. It hasn't even loaded in. Unbelievable. But anyway, I get that maybe the team was very passionate about history. And they were very passionate about, maybe this time period, the 15th century. And about making these characters feel real and feel like you're in a... Like, this is a real thing, you're not just playing a game, you're playing a recreation of somebody's life.
I wonder, you know what I wonder? I wonder if a university commissioned these guys, right?
I don't know.
To make history, like, what is this for? What part of the world is this
Bohemia.
For? Bohemian History 101, and get people interested in it. I just wonder if they got some funding from like a university or something, because it almost seemed like they tried to make a textbook out of this game.
So you get to these conversations, and it's like, talk. Well, tell me about this guy. Talk. Well, tell me about this guy. Talk. Well, tell me about this guy. Talk. I don't give a fuck. And none of it mattered. Half of it didn't matter. And then like sometimes you would try and convince somebody one way or the other. And none of that mattered because you could select a free option down below, and it would get you the same fucking result.
After a half hour.
We're like, whoa, this game story! And then you got people that they come on and like they verbally attack us because we say this game's not all it's cracked up to be, which it's not, by the way. It's not though. And I feel like there was almost too many people when this game was released, dick riding this game, whatever, on the Kingdom Come Deliverance train, and it got to the point where the expectations were so high from everybody with how positive people were talking about that when this game was released, it was like,
well, we have to be positive about it because...
Well, we have to like it because an indie studio made it, so we have to like this game, and... We have to support it so we can support the indie studios. And, of course, the fact that they didn't have a very big budget is an excuse for all of these mishaps. There's no such thing as an excuse. It's like somebody telling me early access is an excuse for a $30 title being trash. No, it's not. There's no such thing as an excuse. This is business we're talking.
This is a $60 game, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a $60 game, and this shit, you don't get away with it. Not with me, anyway. Not with J-Dog. Maybe with all the fan sites and all the Dick Rider review sites that get a nice pay cut. Maybe with the guy coming on here trash talking us because we didn't like the game while he's cashing his check from Warhorse. Get over it. Game's not that good, and it never was that good.
The game could use multiple
layers of polish
and significant updates. Now, a lot of our issues are not structural, right? They're technical.
Yeah.
Right? Loading screens and just the pacing and things like that.
The actual main storyline for this game, though, other than, some of the things that you mentioned, the actual main storyline is fun. Mm-hmm. I'm being honest. I had fun. I didn't love the game, though. I didn't $60 have fun. I had maybe 20? Mm-hmm. 25? Maybe? Give it some updates, 30.
You just wish that they would would have given you this experience without all the technical problems.
Look, half her body didn't load in.
Yeah. So you wish that you could have had this experience without the technical problems.
Oh, it's because you're playing on a potato.
Shut up. I agree with you.
And that's what I'm saying, though, because then you could really it's almost like hard to review the game based upon, the story and things like that, because you're so focused on all the shit.
Anybody reviewing this game, I seriously, anybody reviewing this game, including us, until this game gets more updates, it's basically like reviewing an early access title. It's how I felt when I first stepped in and played this game for that first 2 hours, and we're just sitting there going, oh no. Oh no. Like, the first 2 hours was boring. Sure, there was a fist fight, and there was a couple bandit fights. That saved it, by the way. But it was talk, kill your dad. Talk, punch a bandit. Talk, try to sneak away, get caught, and get thrown back. And then, oh, boring. Yeah, he looks forward to it. You know what that is? Toth right there? That's one of the creators at Kingdom Come at Warhorse saying, I look forward to you buying our next game. Because that's what you need to do if you want to see the ending sequence. Like, that's my point. Like, what? Where's my ending? Fight this guy, seize the castle. And I understand why they did what they did.
Well, you can have a game if this is going to span multiple games. That's fine.
Be totally fine.
But you've got to have a satisfactory conclusion for my 50 hours of work.
And there wasn't one for me.
And there wasn't.
There wasn't.
Where's that? I want that big epic fight with Von Aulitz.
Yeah.
Or if it's not going to be him, if he's going to be later on in, the second or third game, okay, whatever. Totally you got to give me a henchman.
Yeah.
You got to give me,
Give me Toth.
Somebody. Yeah. Something.
I got Runt about halfway through the game. I think around episode 20, 25 or so. Shot him in the face with the bow once. It was over. That sucked. That was boring. And then I'm on this siege quest. I'm on this final quest. This was my big problem with this. You talk about structural. Let's talk structural for a second. Final quest, we're on siege. I have to do all this. I'm standing at the trebuchet. I have to do all this side bullshit to get things to get things ready. We're in the middle of a war. We're in the middle of a fight. I'm not just going to say, oh, hold on, Toth. Hang on a second. I got to go talk to this priest in Ushitz. I got to go to Ledechko and talk to this herbalist. Hang on, I'm going to just stop at the what the hell is that thing called where the monks go? The monastery. I'm going to stop at the monastery quick and try and recruit a physician to come and look at our men. Just hang on. Don't kill Lady Stephanie and don't kill my dad. I got to make a trip. That's how I felt. Like, we're on this final quest for this. We're gonna storm this castle at Talmberg. Nope. Stop my immersion. Let's go do all this other bullshit. What? Well, you had to make preparations for battle. I had to make preparations for battle for this fight. Not for any of the other fights that actually were bigger. When you go to the bandit camp at Pripyatlavets, there's not 6 side quests worth of preparation. You go in there with your army and you kick some ass. When you go to fight him at, what the hell, Vronic? There's not 6 or 7 side quests worth of preparation. You go in there with Hanish and Divish and Radzig and Bernard and you tear that mother down. So why all the immersion breaking? Why all the quest breaking? Why all this extra side bullshit? Just to add time to the playthrough or try to make your game feel longer artificially? And don't even get me started about this game's garbage save system. Did you see what just happened there? I didn't go the right way right away during the ending chase scene. So it got a game over scene. And then when I load, I have to go all the way back through the castle siege. So right now, I'm sitting here screaming and swearing. Let's see if I can hear it. Hang on. Holy shit. Oh, no. So you just hear me lamenting and angry about it. It does nothing to endear itself to the character with a crap save system like that. That should have been an autosave. Right there should have been an autosave. I actually saved with the Save Your Schnapps here. You're going to see me do it. I'm going to do it. So I save my ass. There's a drink. There's a save. And now I see him because I wasn't looking at something this time. So now I see Hans and I know to follow him.
Yeah. Wow.
But the save system in this game, and don't pretend that they're trying to be different. All that does is that forces me to spend more time in the game, and it doesn't allow me, the casual player, which is what I am. I have no problem admitting I'm a casual gamer at this point. You know, considering I have a life outside of video games. And all it does is prevent me from having a shorter play session. Maybe 25 minutes or a half hour. Because if you don't sleep in a bed, you don't drink a Save Your Schnapps, or you don't save and quit. You can't save your game unless the game does it for you.
And it doesn't do it for you very often.
And there's some autosaves that are really helpful, I'm going to give the credit where it's due. There are some really good spots where I'm like, you know, I should get a save after this part. And I got a save. Made me very happy.
But there's no reason not to have a quick save option. You know.
Maybe just a hard save. And maybe if you have a Save Your Schnapps and you want to have a special section, special difficulty selection for you can only save with Save Your Schnapps, that'd be fine too. I'd be okay with that. But don't pretend that it was innovative and that it was something special. It was something special, all right. It was shit is what it was. Yeah. It was just another example of them having their nose in the air, trying to be something that they're not.
It was artificial difficulty added to the game.
Yeah.
But it was all these little things that add up to make the game not a fun experience. And I think that's really the issue.
Now let's talk about the Monastery Missions. I'm gonna sum this up in under a minute. You have this incredibly ridiculous, boring, laborsome, tedious quest line. So what do? I do what 90% of people probably did. I go on and I look up on YouTube a way to skip that mother trucker. And what did I do? I walked in under night, took a drink of wine, used my lockpick skill, broke into the monastery, stabbed Pius in the face, took his dice, and I left. And I completed the mission doing that. Dumb. No, look at this. Where was Ranzig? Where is he? Where is he? Watch this. Watch this atrocity. Watch this. It's coming. Come on, Potato! Where's his beard? Where's his armor? Come on, Potato, load! You fucking potato! Oh, son of a bitch! I mean,
you're talking to the ghost of
real.
Get real is right.
Get real. I mean, and here's the thing: death to this channel, death to these YouTubers, all this other shit. For this? Grow up. Leave the basement once in a while. That's what I got to say. Kingdom Come Deliverance. J-Dog, your final score.
If you want to have an experience this boring, go walk around in an open field.
Shut up, J-Dog.
Seriously, though.
What's your final score for this game? Rated out of 10 based on what you saw.
This is the definition of missed opportunity.
It is. Because there's so much good here. Even as somebody who hated so much about it.
There's a backbone.
Oh, there's so much good about this game.
There's a good backbone. But nothing else is realized.
Backbone. All the little things that annoyed you broke the game's back.
Yep, that's right.
Final rating out of 10.
Huge missed opportunity. Hugely disappointing. I don't even know. Let's just break it down. Rating out of 10? I guess I could go 4 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. That's a fair rating. You know, there is a backbone, but there isn't enough. And there's absolutely no way I'd recommend it at $60.
Never.
This is a $20 game
Yep.
as it stands right now.
Yep. I give this game
$20 game.
I gave this game a soft 3 out of 10. And that's only for some writing, some sequences.
What did I say, a 4? Oh, that's because we got laid like 3-4
Yeah,
times.
the sex scenes were the best.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
That was worthwhile.
Yeah.
But this is a $20 experience. And you need to be willing to put up with significant frustration.
frustration, tedium, and bullshit.
and boredom.
Yep.
So
There were a lot of sequences in this game where I just found myself saying, "Okay." And if you watch some of my gameplay, there's 36 episodes. It's talk to the guy, hit the selection, space.
Well, and every quest
because I don't need a fucking book.
every quest is a fetch quest.
It's all fetch quests. Very, very little actual, good quests. All the bandit combat quests were within the first 15 hours of the game for me. I did them all.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have any more combat quests to do. It was all brew a potion, get a sleep herb, make a lullaby potion, get some healing herbs, do this, do that, and it's like, oh my god, shoot me!
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it just really got tedious as it moved on.
It's a 3 out of 10. It's a boring game. It is not well. It's not well done.
It's not well paced, I think, is the biggest issue.
Very poorly paced.
Yeah.
Some of this ending storytelling was very good. There's a sequence after here where you will see your father. I'm going to actually try and get to it during the review here. So there's a sequence here where you see your father. You're talking to your father. This scene kind of made me well up a little bit. This was really, really well done. Because it's basically written how we end our main fantasy series.
Yeah.
In fact, you'll see that your father and you here have an embrace, share a kind moment. Oh wait, look who's standing behind him. When he turns around, wait, who's there? Who's there? Who's he gonna walk off into the sunset with? His wife. Your dad and his wife gonna walk off into the sunset together. They stole the ending to her book. I knew it. I knew they were fans of ours.
Yeah.
They must have seen our first No BS review and had to change their ending right at the end. So J-Dog, Kingdom Come Deliverance for me was a disappointment. All obnoxious things aside, all trash talking aside, like you said, missed opportunity is what this game is.
Yes.
There were some really great things to it, but man, there were some really crap things to it too.
All the small little disappointments that add up to just ruin it.
They always say one or two big things is more important than a lot of small things. Yeah, but a lot of small things can make
they eat away at you,
and it can pull the casual player away from your game, which is exactly what it did for me. I knew it in the first 2 hours. I saw a lot of it in the first 2 hours. And I'm thinking, how is this going to change? But there's so many people that were just so dead set that we were totally wrong. And then how many people did we have come on the channel afterwards and be like, I know I initially told you guys you were wrong, but I agree with you now. This game is bad. Or this game needs work. Not so much bad, but it needs a lot of work. It wasn't ready.
I think, maybe there was pressure on Warhorse to release it in a certain
and I think there was.
Or a certain, and really... maybe this game legitimately could have used 6 more months.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they released 2 relatively large patches within the first month or so.
Yep.
That tells me there's probably 6 months worth of effort and work that should really have been done.
Yep.
To this game.
Yep.
And we talk about that, with a game like Days Gone that got pushed back to 2019. And it's like, I'd rather you push the game back a year and really make sure the experience is great. So that when you release your second game, I trust you. When Warhorse releases their second game, I'll have 0 confidence in them.
Yep. I agree with you.
0.
No, I agree with you.
I will not buy it. Because I'm not going to go through this experience again. I'll guarantee you that. So, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
And you don't get the benefit of the doubt, not from me. When you're, I'm sorry. You don't get the benefit of the doubt, right?
Not for $60.
No.
Especially when I have the ability to return it on Steam.
This game could have been released in early access, and they could have worked on these things and taken feedback from the community and worked on this. That would have been the right direction in my book to go with this.
Yep. Look at all these pixels that haven't loaded in. Look at all this detail that hasn't loaded in.
They're going to go in with, a $60 price point here for something that really
Headless
operates
character.
like a $20 early access title.
You're right.
So
I've seen early access games for under $20 that play better than this.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yep.
It's, I don't know.
It is definitely, I would say, the disappointment of 2018. I'm Neil with the Balding Plebs.
I'm J-Dog.
If you're going to buy Kingdom Come Deliverance, especially at a $60 price point, you need to know what you're getting yourself into. Neither of us recommend it at that $60 price point, especially when you can walk on air, as I will do here. Neither of us recommend Kingdom Come Deliverance at a $60 price point. If you can get this game for $20, I say it's a buy just based on the amount of content, the amount of quests, and there are some good things to be seen in this world. However, I feel this game needs about 6 months of solid work. I'm walking on air! This game needs about 6 months of solid work before it's anywhere near where it needs to be a $60 game. I'm Neil.
I'm J-Dog.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you right here next time for gameplay, live streams, hangout nights, no BS reviews like this, where we tell you how it is that the other review companies won't. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you right here next time.
GG, ya plebs.
GG, ya plebs.